Welcome back to the all-new MD Connected. I'm Joanna Gomez. Not only is Jay Sandhouse the production supervisor here at MDC-TV, but he is also the instructor of a class for students pursuing a career in broadcast television, which I actually had the privilege of taking that class, which you were the instructor, a wonderful class. So talk to us about the announcing class.
It's TV and radio announcing, and it's my favorite class to teach. And it's a performance-based class, and the class is designed, three things in mind: to train you to be an on-air talent, such as you, but you're already on an air talent by then.
But it's okay, it's always good to go back and freshen up and know, and those things that you forget from college that you learned.
Also to teach you how to work with on-air talent, because not everybody is cut out to be in front of the camera, not everybody wants to be in front of the camera, so it trains you how to direct talent. And then the third thing, and the most important thing, is just how to stand up and speak in front of people and not be nervous, which is like
the scariest thing to do when you first start off in this career.
Exactly.
Not only that, but talking to a camera in your mind is kind of like, how do I talk to a camera and make it seem as if I'm talking to a person? So how many students do you have in the class this semester?
This particular semester is kind of a more intimate class. I have about 16 people, but I've had over 30 in this class, you know, depending on the particular semester. We now offer this class in the fall and the spring. Previously, we've only offered in the fall, but it's very popular. We have a lot of students not only in our department in there, but we have students who are journalism students that take it. And we have a lot of students who are theater students that take it. So it's a wide variety of folks in there.
Now, is it a mandatory class that you need for your degree?
It's an elective. I wish it were mandatory. But it's probably, of all the electives that we offer, it's the most popular elective. I promote it heavily. I go to speak to journalism classes. David Mervis is a professor here on campus that teaches journalism, and I speak to his class every semester. I tell all my other students in other classes, you know, to take the class. But we get so many calls every single day in our department. I want to be in front of the camera. I want to be a reporter. How do I do that? And, well, take my class.
So why is it so important to take that class? Let's say you don't want to be in front of the camera and you want to be behind the scenes. Why is it so important to take that class?
Well, everybody has to speak in front of a crowd, no matter what you do. You know, I mean, you could be in a class and you're supposed to stand up and read your report. You could be in an auditorium. You go around the room and introduce yourself. And people get very nervous, and you can tell, you know, they fidget with their fingers, they look down, they stammer, and things like that. So learning how to speak to people like it's not a big deal. Also, again, you want to work in the industry, and you're a producer, and you're going out in the field with someone. You're a reporter. So I go out with you, and you do a story, and you're reading it. And, you know, I just don't like the way you're reading it, although that's obviously impossible. But let's pretend it is. And then I need you to do it different. You know, I can either say, I need you to do it again, and you say to me, why? Well, I don't like it. Well, why don't you like it? I need to be able to tell you what to do different. Where to put voice inflection, how to hold your head, how to do certain things, you know, how to stand up, you know, emphasis on certain words, where to take a pause.
Right.
And there's no definite right or wrong, it's all style. But sometimes you don't always, you know, punch up the words that are really important.
So you have about 16 students this year in this class, and I know that tons of students in the past that have taken your class are on TV, have had an opportunity to be on TV and to learn. So what are some of those experiences that those students have had?
Well, you know, I would have to say, you know, you're my most famous student, really.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're working for a TV station and you're on every single day, and obviously, you know, I mean, if I had any part of it, it's great, but you were great to begin with, you know, because you were working with us, and I knew that. And students, you have to go to a smaller market to get the experience. The great thing about the announcing class is when you walk out of that class, you have a demo reel. You know, we tape things in the studio, and for our viewers at home, you can see how great this set looks. We do things in front of a green screen. That's, you know, when you do your stand-up in front of, you know, in front of that big, massive set that's actually generated through a computer, which hopefully is not breaking anybody's heart. No. But we put our students in front of that, so they have an opportunity to do that.
Which is hard to work on the green screen, which a lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to get the style and looking at yourself in an opposite way.
Exactly.
You know, just different direction.
So, you know, the main thing is that if you want to be in front of a camera or in front of a microphone, people want to say, what did you do? Let's hear something. Let's see something. And the ability to give them a DVD of things you've done and it looks professional.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people watch these things in their office. So sometimes they'll watch it on a VHS tape or they'll watch it on a DVD because most producers don't have expensive you know, DVC Pro or DV Cam machines in their office. So the quality isn't necessarily as important as the audio is. So, but if the audio sounds good, then, you know, they can hear how you're really speaking, and that's what I give them. So it's an opportunity to actually have something and, you know, get your career going.
So how many projects do they have? Like, I know they get to stand in front of a green screen. Do they get to hear themselves do some voiceovers?
The first project is a voiceover, which is recording your voice for a radio commercial or it could be a TV commercial. It gets used to being in front of a microphone and reading a script in 30 seconds. When they're done with that, I mix in some music and I email it to them as an MP3 file. The second project is to do an interview with a partner in the class. If we were partners, you'd interview me for 5 minutes, and then I would interview you for 5 minutes. And again, that's an opportunity to show that you have interviewing skills.
Now, do you give them tips and points on how to interview
of course.
and how to guide an interview?
Oh, of course. You know, and that's the main thing. You don't want to let your talent your guests dominate the conversation. Now, for example, you and I are doing this interview, and I know that as much as I want to talk on and on and on, I need to stop to give you an opportunity to ask me a question only because I've been a host.
Right.
So, but if you have a guest that just talks on and on and on, you can't lose control of the interview here and let me dominate. So I have to teach you how to break in if you think I'm dominating that conversation.
Correct.
And then the third project they do is in front of a green screen, which really is practice reading off of the teleprompter, which are the words reading up the screen, and not making a mistake and make your audience believe that you're actually saying it and not reading it.
Gotcha. So they have 3 projects. They can grade it on those 3 projects, and do they get time to do it over if it doesn't go as well as they had planned?
Well, you know what? They get it, we have class sessions where they practice. But the most important thing is how great they do. So I want them to get a great grade. So, for example, if you're doing your voiceover, I tell you at any point if you're reading your 30 seconds of copy, if you don't like the way it's going, just say stop.
Okay.
And we'll start again. But if you don't say stop, then I grade it as is, whether you make a mistake or not. You know, the main thing is, you know, the grades are important, but this is to show people. You know, we're trying to get people jobs at this school here and a great education. So I'm more concerned about focusing on how well you could do. If you're doing your green screen and you're just doing a bad job, you know, I'm going to stop you and tell you, but we have practice.
Right. Okay. Understood.
You know.
And now, written tests? That's very important to know.
Midterm and final.
Midterm and final. Okay,
Right.
So it sounds pretty good. You have enough time to study.
Right.
Comprehensive. Okay. Now, do students get an opportunity that take your announcing class to be part of MDC-TV and host a couple of shows?
Well, they do, and there's also a second class that I've been offering. I started this summer, very successful.
What class is that?
It's called TV Workshop.
Okay.
And what it is that it takes TV 1 and then just takes it to the next level.
Okay.
And in this class, one of the projects they do is a half-hour interview. You know, you and I would do a half-hour interview with each other. It's a show called Student Spotlight, and it's actually running on MDC-TV.
Oh, good.
So we can do this one of 2 ways. I can interview you for the first 15 minutes, and then you interview me for the second 15 minutes, or we could go back and forth in the whole show, like a Regis and Kelly. And if the show comes over well enough, and it will air on MDC-TV, so you're like auditioning.
Okay.
And this way, you have an opportunity to be on TV instantly, and we do the whole show, we put in the commercials and everything as if we are doing it to air.
Now, have you had any students that have been on MDC-TV?
I've had a bunch of students. Daphne Gonzalez, who's directing the show right now, has been on MDC-TV. She's hosted a bunch of shows.
And she took your announcing class?
She took both classes.
Oh, good.
Ellie Vera is now doing some interstitial entertainment 411, so she's out there doing that. Jessica Delgado has hosted a show in Spanish, and I've had a few other students, I believe, that have come on. And I got to tell you, with and as not necessarily patting myself on the back, but we've had other students host shows on this network who haven't taken the class, and I'm proud to say you can tell the difference.
You can.